This next clip was sent in by a user named Edgar Feth, and what he's captured here is footage of a toy mirror that belongs to his little girl. She first got her hands on it after Edgar's neighbor passed it along to the family. They've owned it for a good while now, but recently they've come to the conclusion that it needs to go. Edgar explains that just a couple of nights before filming, he was walking past his daughter's bedroom when he heard her voice, and it sounded like she was deep in conversation with somebody. Now, the mirror does have a built-in voice feature. It's supposed to say pre-programmed phrases like, "Hello," or "Hi, I'm the magical mirror," but what it was saying this time around didn't sound scripted at all. Between the strange answers and the unsettling questions it seemed to be responding to, the thing felt almost sentient. In this brief clip, Edgar and his wife decide to interact with it themselves. See what it does.
Hola, bienvenido al Castillo de los Sueños del Espejo Mágico.
¿Cuál es tu nombre?
Yo soy Jessie, la princesa más bella del Castillo de los Sueños del Espejo Mágico.
¡Qué tierna eres!
Nosotras seremos mejores amigas.
¿Tu personaje favorito?
Si papá pregunta, mi favorito es mi papi. Si mamá pregunta, yo responderé que la que más me gusta es mi mami. Y si tú me preguntas, te diré que el que más me gusta eres tú. Soy una niña muy...
Viewers were quick to point out how rapidly the toy fired back its responses. For many, the reaction time felt way too sharp for a simple children's toy. Several people in the comments even noted that they own the exact same mirror, and theirs has never once behaved this way or produced anything remotely similar. That alone was enough for the family to move the toy out of the house and into their shed. Over time though, Edgar's kids kept sneaking in and messing around with it. Between scratching it and roughing it up, the mirror took quite a beating. Edgar eventually had to swap out a few components, yet somehow the thing kept on working. In this follow-up clip, he brings the camera back to the mirror because viewers were eager to know whether it would respond the same way as before. Here's what happened.
Hola, bienvenido al Castillo de los Sueños del Espejo Mágico.
Hola.
Hola, encantado de conocerte.
Gracias, a mí igual. Me da gusto.
Eres muy divertido. ¿Tienes una fiesta?
No, no tengo fiesta. ¿Tú tienes?
No sé. Cuando me levanté, te vi a ti.
Just like the first time, the mirror speaks up at precisely the right moment, almost like it's holding up its end of a real conversation. The fact that its responses were entirely different from before only deepened the family's suspicion that this is no ordinary toy. They've come to believe it may be cursed, or worse, haunted. Either way, they want nothing to do with it and have decided the safest option is to keep it as far from their home as possible. To this day, Edgar's family still has no real explanation for what's going on with that mirror. This spine-tingling security footage that has left countless viewers deeply unsettled. A team of guards can be seen sweeping through a building following reports of a mysterious woman spotted on the premises. As they make their way through the corridors, they come across something that stops them cold. Pay close attention to what unfolds.
Caminan hacia atrás 3 pasos. Exactamente está a su espalda y ustedes ahí me ven. Exactamente ahí donde está haciendo su movimiento, ahí está. Dime. Adelante, lo escucho.
Ya le abrí aquí la malla al 37, lo dejo que pase hasta del otro lado, lo acompaña al portón y lo dejo que vaya, ¿o qué hago? No hay nada.
Hasta ahí.
The woman appears standing motionless in various spots throughout the building, yet every time someone approaches her location, she vanishes without a trace. The guards are left shaken and baffled by the whole ordeal. Some are convinced this is a paranormal encounter, while others believe there has to be a rational explanation for the strange and unsettling sighting. What you're about to witness comes from an Australian solo camper named Matt, the man behind the YouTube channel Field Days. He's someone who genuinely feeds off solitude, stranded islands, zero supplies, no fire, no comfort. But this particular challenge might be the one he should have turned down entirely. One night inside a cave that locals only speak about in hushed tones. According to Matt, the first red flag came from a friend who had already ventured inside. This wasn't some cheap fright story. Christian, that friend, is the kind of guy who doesn't rattle easily. Stoic, hardened, not the type to spook. But the moment he descended that man-made iron chain into the blackness below, something hit him that was far more unsettling than any strange sound or creature. A full-body, gut-level certainty that whatever lived in that cave did not want him there. Ice-cold chills, an overwhelming sense of being observed. Nothing he could point to, just every instinct in his body screaming at him to get out. So he did, but Matt went in anyway. When he arrives, the entrance barely registers as one. It's little more than a narrow gash in the earth, strangled by roots and hanging branches, with a single rusted iron chain disappearing into the void below. The kind of opening that makes you question every decision that led you there. Inside, the cave splinters into cramped tunnels that curl deeper into total darkness. Matt picks one, squeezes through, and makes camp in a chamber so small he can barely stand upright. For a while, everything is still, until it isn't. Strange sounds begin reaching him, things he can't identify. Not wind, not settling rock, something different altogether. He tries to chalk it up to maybe a bat, but even he can't shake the persistent feeling that something is watching him. Then, mid-meal, while he's sitting there with his tin of beans, everything shifts.
That is beautiful. Baked beans in a haunted cave. Oh my fucking God.
A heavy metallic clang rings out, the chain ladder slamming against the rock wall. Not a gentle drift, not a single loose link rattling. A solid, weighty chain of the kind that simply doesn't move unless something is pulling it down. Matt goes completely still. There's no airflow down here. That ladder has no reason to be moving. Then the sounds start building.
It is 100% now. I heard it before. I'm 100% certain it's the chain that I walked in, that you climbed down into this cave on. It's moving. Now, you can't move that chain with wind. It's way too heavy. There is no wind coming in here. There's no wind even for... Holy shit. Oh my fucking God. Look, you must have heard that just then. Look at my arms, dude.
The chain strikes again, and this time, loose rocks begin knocking together near the entrance, like something is repositioning itself just beyond his sightline. He's still reaching for logic, but you can catch it in his voice. This has stopped being an adventure. This is something else entirely. Another impact from the chain, louder this time, closer, and that's the moment he starts moving, rolling up his gear, sweeping his light across every passage and every shadow, because the reality of his situation is setting in. There is only one exit. If something is making its way down that ladder, he has nowhere to go.
I'm almost about to abort mission, but I've got the only way up is that chain. Yeah, this is freaking me out a little bit.
By the time he reaches the entrance chamber, the bats erupt into absolute chaos, hissing, thrashing, producing a sound he'd later describe as disturbingly close to something human. He plants himself beside the ladder and endures the rest of the night, surrounded by the kind of noises your mind desperately tries to dismiss while your instincts refuse to let you.
Okay, it is up around 2:30 in the morning right now. I've heard that sound again. So the only way I can describe this noise, it's between a cat hissing and it sounds like human voice. Like I'm not even...
When daylight finally breaks through, he pulls himself out and calls the whole thing off on the spot. No grand conclusion, no triumphant moment, just a man who found the exact boundary between courage and recklessness and chose wisely. Mazamilta Cabin has built quite a reputation as a thrill-seeker's destination, but it's perhaps even better known for the deeply unsettling experiences guests claim to have had there. A woman by the name of Danny was spending time at one of the Mazamilta cabins alongside her friends when, in the middle of a lively night of celebration, their camera picked up something that's difficult to explain. Everyone was having a great time when one of the guys suddenly spotted something repeatedly peeking out at them from behind a nearby tree.
No, si es como un globo.
A ver, vamos, hay que bajar.
No, Edgar, sí se ve como raro. Mira cómo se ve. No, pero es que... No, si es un globo.
Whatever shows up in the recording appears to be a small, unidentifiable figure, something that genuinely defies easy explanation, cautiously edging in and out of view from behind that tree. Initially, the group brushed it off, figuring it was probably just a balloon drifting back and forth in the breeze. But the more they kept their eyes on it, the harder that explanation became to hold on to. The way it moved just didn't add up. It felt almost intentional, like something was deliberately using that tree as cover while it kept a close eye on them. Now, I'm not here to tell you this footage is proof of something supernatural, but I genuinely have no idea what that thing is either. So what's your take? An Arizona mother named Dakota initially assumed her daughter's terrifying nighttime episodes were nothing more than bad dreams, until she discovered the truth was far more disturbing.
Having night terrors, if they're waking up in the middle of the night screaming, freaking out.
From a very early age, Dakota's daughter would jolt awake screaming, clearly frightened by something lurking in her bedroom. Worried and desperate for answers, Dakota turned to the internet, where everyone reassured her it was simply night terrors, just a phase the child would grow out of. She accepted that explanation, at least until her daughter began holding conversations with something unseen around the home, and Dakota herself started witnessing events she couldn't explain.
Somebody like saying hi to things that are like 7 feet tall. Everyone says like, oh, it's just a common part of growth, or maybe it's because you and her dad are fighting. I just blew it off. Her toys would just go off by themselves.
One of her daughter's toys activates completely on its own, though at first Dakota brushes it off. Maybe a glitch, maybe just how the thing was built. But then it keeps happening, and not just with that one toy.
Like, hey guys, does anyone know like why this would happen? And a lot of people came up with these answers like, oh, it's the radio waves. And some people are saying it's designed, like those toys are designed to draw the attention of the kid. So I just let it go. I thought that maybe it was just designed to do that. Or maybe it was the radio waves. I just didn't pay much mind to it. But it didn't just happen once. It happened multiple times. I have multiple occasions on camera where this happened. One toy goes off, and I'm like, nope, I'm not doing this. I threw it away the next day. And I'm telling you, this toy was a toy that had like 17 different little soundtracks by Fisher Price. It'll be like, oh, blah, 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 it's the color. Instead, what it did was... no, I threw that away. I threw that away so fast. And the next day, a different toy, and I threw it away. Each time I threw them away. I'm like, not doing this. I threw it away. A different toy went off. For 6 days, a different toy would go off. And on this piano, you have to touch multiple spots. You can't just touch one spot and the rest goes off. You have to touch multiple spots. And this piano was like...
With the strange toy incidents piling up, Dakota decides to install security cameras throughout the house. It doesn't take long before one of them records something that will make your skin crawl. A bone tumbles off a shelf without anyone touching it, but look closely at what's actually happening. A pale hand seems to emerge from inside the shelf, pressed against the wall, shoves the bone off, then vanishes. What follows is somehow even more unsettling. Dakota's 2 dogs both rise to investigate the noise, but a third figure, pale grey with visible hair, materializes out of nowhere and slowly raises its head up from the couch right beside them. The dogs don't react to it at all. Dakota then adds a brief update to this footage.
And it is a demon baby. It disguised itself as a baby. It's my toddler's size. It has half of a face and it has hair. My daughter was bald. My daughter looked a lot like that. So who is this baby sitting on my couch with hair when I clearly went out there and didn't see anybody? After seeing that, I got spooked because something's in my house. Something's trying to torment my kid. She's been having night terrors, which do not blow off your kid.
And this is the point where the story takes a truly dark turn. Dakota was eventually forced to have one of her dogs euthanized after it turned violently aggressive, attacking a neighbor and snarling with wild, frantic eyes directly at her young daughter. Having now seen the demonic figure that bears a resemblance to her child, Dakota believes her dog wasn't actually growling at her daughter at all, but at the entity shadowing her, and that living alongside that presence day after day drove the animal to its breaking point.
Am I sure that I didn't have another animal? I was absolutely sure that the only 2 animals that I had were the one sitting on the couch that you could see that kind of got up to investigate. This comment right here, that it's scary that my dog didn't notice it, that was my first thought, because I thought that kids and animals were both susceptible and sensitive to the spiritual realm. I guess not all the time. I mean, I guess same with the fact that spirits roam the earth 24/7. Just because kids don't see it 24/7 doesn't mean that they don't see them periodically. So I think that's what happened with my dogs. I think they, from time to time, did sense it because, unfortunately, I actually put my dog down. The gray one, I ended up having to put her down because she showed signs of aggression. She ended up attacking my neighbor, and we tried to get her help. We didn't have enough money for a trainer, and we didn't have the resources. The final decision was made when she looked at my daughter and was growling at her. She had like whale eyes. She was growling at my toddler, and I thought that she wanted my daughter's toy. So I stood between her and my child. I grabbed the toy from my baby, and I was just like, "Are you wanting this?" And she looked past me to like continue growling at my daughter. And after seeing this video, because I thought maybe she was just reactive and uncomfortable with my child, but I don't think that it was my child. After seeing this video, I'm convinced that it was this entity that was attached or following my daughter around, that it was making that, that it was growling at and wanting to attack.
Dakota is now firmly convinced that the entity attached to her daughter was responsible for both her dog's aggression and her daughter's ongoing night terrors. And tragically, that belief came at the cost of her pet's life. But the central question still hangs in the air. Just what exactly is this thing, and what does it want? We'll have to wait for further updates to find out. A man residing in a modest cottage had become accustomed to the unsettling sounds drifting down from his attic, deep thuds, the rhythm of footsteps, and the grinding drag of furniture shifting in the darkness. Without warning, a rattling, chain-like noise reverberated from the right side of the room, and a piece of furniture toppled over on its own. Overcome with fear, he threw down his phone and ran. These days, he shares the place with a friend, but the attic stays locked and untouched. This TikTok account has come up on our channel in the past. It belongs to a woman named Alex, who says the store where she works is absolutely riddled with paranormal activity. She claims weird things take place there on a near daily basis, with most of it centered around the back room. She's managed to catch several of these disturbing moments on video.
We're back again. I forgot to hit record. She's eating her banana scooter, and here's Connie doing her nightly thing, and something incredibly creepy. Not her eating a banana, of course, no, but totally it's happening right in front of us. Let me flip the camera. Hold on. This is what has been happening. Okay. Are you ready?
No, I'm not.
Just eat your banana.
I'm eating my banana.
All right, come on. I'm just going to go in. The light. Did you see the door, Connie? Listen, I'm gonna just look at the store is completely, and these cats they're calm now because we gave them food. They have been yowling and acting wild as soon as we turn the lights off. They're good now because we got them calmed down with some treats and some food, but the bunnies are running around acting crazy. Everything is just kind of uptight and not. Mm-hmm. The birds, we had to cover the birds because they've been screaming
all day.
Yeah, it's been wild, guys. Hold on, let me flip my camera. So, yeah, I don't know. Just another night in paradise, I guess. Now, I know. I'm going to go. Okay. Y'all, we're just going to. Hold on. Let's. Turn the. I don't want to flip the camera, guys, because I want to show you their scooter. It's everything. There's no one in here.
No. I brought that shit with you, bro.
Apparently I did. All right. I'm going to wrap it up. I'm going to help Connie do trash, and we're going to get out of here. All right, guys. We will definitely see you on the next one. Goodbye.
Right at the beginning of the footage, you can make out a voice whispering the name Connie. Alex had no idea this was happening in the moment, though she says whispering is something she hears regularly throughout the store. When she turns the camera around, the door to the back room is visibly swinging open and closed by itself. She even steps inside to show that the space is completely empty. There are no obvious edits in the video, which makes it hard to argue that someone was tucked away in there moving the door. As she pans around the rest of the store, the lights suddenly start to flicker without explanation. Then, on a separate occasion, while she was totally alone, here's what her camera recorded.
Hey, good morning. Okay, so I am at work, and yes, I am by myself, only for a little bit, and I'm allowed to be, so it is okay, because I'm doing like an inventory count pre-opening. Well, anyway, I've been here about 45 minutes, and mind you now, I've never really been here like by myself for a long period of time. Not yet. I'm not worked here that long, but I have been hearing my name. I've been hearing whispering, and I heard like a groaning sound coming from the back room. just really strange, weird noises. And let me show you what it looks like outside. It looks downright nasty and creepy. Mind you, it is very, very early in the morning, but it's just that kind of day. Hold on, let me flip you around again. Nothing's really been moving around all that much. Just little noises here and there. So I wanted to take a minute and kind of do the AI thing while the store's completely still and nobody else is here to disturb its peace, and see what, if we can catch anything. So I'm gonna turn you around again, and then we're gonna, we're gonna see what happens. Hold on. Okay, there's the back room before I turn lights on. Let's see. Okay, we'll get a little closer. And then we'll step in. Okay, little kid. That was terrible. Okay, all right. Maybe, let's try it one more time right here. Okay. Let's go facing out. Oh. All right. You see what I mean? It doesn't always catch the objects that are in its way. The bathroom is pretty awful. Sometimes I get cold feelings in there.
Alex describes hearing deeply unsettling groaning noises, along with a voice whispering her name. She then heads toward the back room and pulls up a filter designed to detect faces and render them as animated figures. On multiple occasions, the filter seems to pick up what looks like a small child standing in the room. Plenty of viewers have urged her to cleanse the space, and some are convinced that something may have latched onto her personally, since she's also been dealing with strange incidents at home, and now reportedly, something disturbing has started unfolding in her neighborhood too. So what's your take on all of this? What do you think is behind what's happening at her job, at her house, and now right outside her door? And is there a chance it's all connected? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Man who goes by Ghost White Paint on TikTok recently shared footage of a deeply unsettling encounter that took place inside his own home. Whether it had been days or closer to a year, he and his family had been noticing strange, inexplicable things happening around them. It felt like only a matter of time before something would finally be captured on camera. Then one night, his security footage was recording as normal when something bone-chilling appeared in the background. As his son made his way through the room, a deeply disturbing figure materialized behind him. This pale, ghostly shape slowly drifted from one side of the frame to the other before disappearing out of view. His son had no idea anything unusual was moving behind him, but ever since this footage surfaced, Ghost White Paint has been completely at a loss for words over what was recorded inside his house. Could this be genuine evidence of a ghost? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Coming in at number 2, a TikTok account belonging to a woman named Debbie recently uploaded a clip that sent a wave of dread straight through her. Debbie had already been through a number of unsettling incidents in her home, including her dogs repeatedly growling and barking at what appeared to be absolutely nothing. Then one day, the motion-activated security camera in her living room triggered on its own. When she pulled up the footage to see what set it off, what she found stopped her cold. Nothing visible had moved through the frame, yet a disembodied voice can clearly be heard calling out the name Alyssa. That name belongs to her own daughter. And this is where the story takes a truly haunting turn. Back in July of 2023, Alyssa's fiance was tragically killed. So the question now is whether that male voice caught on camera could actually be his. The next clip was sent in by Juan, a mall security guard working somewhere in Mexico. Throughout the day, staff members have reported hearing the sound of a baby crying somewhere inside the building, though they typically brush it off as a shopper's child and think nothing more of it. But one night, while Juan was completing his routine patrol of the mall, he came face to face with something he simply couldn't make sense of.
No. No, no. Hola. No mames. ¿Se escucha un bebé? No mames. Uy, güey, ¿se escucha un bebé? No mames. Güey. No mames.
The unmistakable sound of a child can be heard echoing from somewhere within the restrooms. Juan checked every single bathroom, convinced that perhaps an infant had accidentally been left behind, yet he turned up completely empty-handed. A lot of people believe what he stumbled upon was the tormented spirit of a child, endlessly weeping as it wanders in search of its mother. In a follow-up video, Juan confirmed that he had since walked away from the job after these deeply unsettling experiences. So what do you think is responsible for those haunting sounds? Drop your thoughts down in the comments below. Footage captured at roughly 2 in the morning inside Bradley's Lock and Key in Savannah has left a lot of people genuinely disturbed after seeing it. The camera was initially trained on a doorway when something completely unexpected began to unfold. The door appeared to swing open by itself, despite no one being anywhere near it. Then, just moments later, an odd burst of light flared up on the right side of the doorway before vanishing just as quickly as it came. Savannah has built quite the reputation over the years as one of America's most allegedly haunted cities. Established back in 1733, it has weathered wars, deadly disease outbreaks, devastating fires, and no shortage of dark historical events, all of which have woven generations of chilling legends into the very fabric of the place. Imagine for a moment that the spirits of the deceased never truly move on, that they remain tethered to our world long after death. In Indonesian folklore, the pocong is a ghost said to be the soul of a dead person still bound within its burial shroud, known as the kain kafan. According to the legend, if the knots tying the shroud are never untied following burial, the spirit becomes imprisoned, eventually rising from the grave either to beg for release or to haunt those still living. Throughout this collection of footage, we'll be looking at moments where people claim to have caught the pocong on film. Keep your eyes open. Right away in this first recording, the silhouette of a pocong is unmistakable near a graveside deep in the woods. The person behind the camera seems oddly calm, almost as though they had anticipated this encounter. Then a low, disembodied groaning drifts out from somewhere further among the trees. As the camera swings in that direction, the pocong appears to shift, edging slowly closer before the footage suddenly dies. Perhaps that wasn't convincing enough, so here's what the next camera captured. Tradition holds that a pocong is motionless, a wrapped, immobile corpse prepared for the grave. But this footage, recorded deep within a restricted forest somewhere in Indonesia, challenges everything that belief stands for. A man out walking his dog notices something unsettling and pulls out his camera. You can plainly hear the animal whimpering and crying, clearly disturbed by whatever lies ahead. And then it happens. The pocong actually moves. No shadow play, no optical illusion. The figure genuinely shifts position, while strange crackling sounds seem to rise up from all around them. This may well be the most compelling piece of pocong footage ever recorded. Halfway across the globe, another father decided to install a security camera in his young son's bedroom. It was nothing more than a basic baby monitor, streaming live footage directly to his phone. He had no reason to expect anything unusual to show up. Then one night, well after his boy had drifted off to sleep, his phone buzzed with an alert telling him his son had gotten out of bed. He pulled up the feed immediately, and what he saw stopped him cold.
The dome camera a couple of days ago, and I noticed something at the bottom of my son's bed, which I'll also include a little screenshot of it if I can, with a picture, but you can just see it just there, under there, like that. Now, I thought when I got the notification that my son had got out of bed and he was facing the camera at the bottom of the bed, I thought that was his little face. But then when you press play on the video, it flies off. See that? Let's go back. Play it again. Flies off. Keep dragging it back.
There's a figure visible at the foot of the boy's bed. The father assumed at first it was his son, but in an instant, the shape seemed to launch itself away the moment the camera picked it up. When he rushed to check on him, his son was sound asleep, and the room looked completely undisturbed. So what exactly was that? The father openly admits he was never a believer in the paranormal, but whatever his camera recorded that night left him questioning everything he thought he knew. In 2022, an urban explorer named Josh brought his crew into a sprawling abandoned hospital and university complex, sitting right in the heart of downtown, a place that had closed in 2001 after the entire institution collapsed financially. Staff and students had been given just 3 months warning before the doors shut for good, and the scramble to relocate everyone ended up being recorded as the single largest displacement of medical trainees in American history. 20 years on, the lights were somehow still running. Equipment remained exactly where it had been left. Yearbooks were still lined up along the walls like nothing had ever happened.
Today is a good video. I'm excited to be in this place. We're in the middle of downtown. The place has power. Everything is still inside. This place actually has some pretty crazy history. We're in an old hospital connected to the university that's also abandoned. So the hospital is abandoned, the university is abandoned, but we are exploring the university part in today's video. And in the university part, what we figured out and what we know is that the kids that stayed here had $200,000 in debt when they were finally done. Normal, Toronto College is expensive, but everything is still here. And when this place closed, they gave people a 3-month notice only, the university and the hospital. So everyone was scrambling around on where to place the new students or where to place the new doctors, and they said this was the largest displacement of trainees ever in the US. Eventually, everything got sorted and they were all placed in other places after this has happened. If you guys are wondering why this place closed down, they closed down because of bankruptcy. A lot of hospitals actually around the nation do close because of bankruptcy. They go bankrupt. Anyways, guys, we'll talk about more of history as we go. Let's explore this place. Yes, obviously, by seeing the sign.
The ground floor was essentially frozen in time. Medication was sitting out on tables. Vending machines were still drawing power from the walls. Lockers were packed with the personal belongings of people who had walked out on their last day and simply never returned. Room after room, Josh and his crew kept stumbling onto spaces where nothing had been touched since the moment the building went dark.
They are amazing. You guys remember when you seen my abandoned middle school and we checked out our yearbook? That was cool seeing myself in my abandoned middle school in the yearbook. That hit like 10 million views or more. But imagine just being in this school and you were an urban explorer and you just wanted to see what is good and you're just scrolling through. And these are all doctors in training. You see their lab coats are on. What's amazing is that when you're looking at all these people in the yearbook, think like, oh, like where are they now? Most of them are probably having their own like buildings, their own nurse practitioner stations. They are nurse practitioners, doctors, saving lives. Everyone from all these, you know, is insane. There's physical therapy assistance groups. There's every the radiologists. It's all in there. The heroes. Let's see. This is the chill spot, dude.
Oh look, there's some great spots up above.
Oh yeah? Oh, I can't wait. Now,
Really cool little spots.
I really wonder if we're gonna...
They stepped into a classroom and found the desks still positioned exactly as they would have been for an anatomy lesson. The television mounted inside looked far older than anyone in the group had anticipated.
Oh, anonymous. Like the way the desks are all circled.
Like it's a freaking intervention.
Yeah.
Yo, hold up. I gotta test something.
Okay. Oh, didn't work.
Not in here. Not every room still has power, but there is power here.
Room 203. Again, more desks. This is definitely a classroom hallway. But hey, this actually looks super sick. Check this out. The way it's set up. I like this. It smells like a hospital.
It does.
It smells like a hospital. Still. Doesn't even smell moldy. I just smell like a hospital smell. Look at this. The power's still on in this area. It's all like shining through. Destroyed. It's like darkness is just living in here. All classrooms here too. Whoa, this is a cool one. Yeah. You know, even though they're classrooms, they're all kind of set up different. But those TVs might be the oldest ones I've ever seen. Oh my God. Look at this thing. There's a dial to turn it on. You know what's weird though? It said Spring Break 2001 on the flyers. Did it? Yeah, so I don't, now I'm just like, why is that TV that old? Did they not update it? Did not, maybe that's it. They just kept it that old.
Maybe this is like a newer version. It has color.
Man, no, hell, that's old. That's like dinosaur.
Then, in that same classroom, they noticed something scratched directly into the wall. Handwritten phrases gouged into the surface. One of them reading, "I'm going to harm you," showing up again and again in different rooms as they moved through the building.
Reduced to parts. And then this says, "I'm going to you."
The further in they pushed, the further back in time things seemed to go. A computer lab turned up with original IBM towers still connected to the desks. One of them, tagged with a label reading, "Out of service, will be reduced to parts." And right beside it, scrawled in the same handwriting they'd been seeing all along, "I'm going to harm you."
Everything, bro. This is the crash pad. This is all this is the crash pad. And we got the empty wheelchair in the hallway. What's good though? So this could be like the administration where all like the work office stuff went down. Not sure yet though. Dude, this is sick. Please, what does it say? Please help keep our lounge tidy. Clean up our mess, thank you. This is literally just the hood. This is definitely the hood, like the trap room. Just kind of kicking it. I like this. I can kick it here all day. So, we've done a lot of classrooms. Obviously this was the university part, so I'm not expecting a lot, but I was hoping for maybe some crazy medical equipment or things like that. But I don't think we're gonna get there. Some fancy suits. Yeah, this is definitely all offices. All of them, just the work.
A motorized wheelchair.
There we go.
Look at that thing. You ride it. It's got a joystick.
Diagnosis laboratory.
Up on one of the higher floors, they came across what was clearly being used as a makeshift living space by someone who had no business being there. An empty wheelchair sat out in the hallway, and one of the rooms had handwritten notes pinned up asking anyone passing through to keep the area clean.
This is crazy! Prosthetic legs. Those are worth a lot of money. Just random legs chilling. A drawn school bus. It's actually a really cool setup, not gonna lie. This is actually the classrooms here. Alright, I took the legs off, moved them here, and I did like a cool setup. I put a chair there. If you guys do like these photos, or if you're curious on how this is gonna look, check out my photos at instagram.com/exploringwithjosh. Check it. What happened?
I know you were just like kind of feeling like, there's not like a ton of stuff in this place, whatever.
Well, I was talking, yeah, because we were talking about the classroom and how it's all classroom, which was cool. But I'm like, dang, I was surprised there's not much here for being this building.
Not anymore, bro. There's no more classrooms here. Go down that hallway and just go. For as soon as you go all the way down, you're gonna see some crazy.
Oh, I'm excited.
She wants to show me something that I haven't even seen, but then I showed her something that she didn't see.
Yo.
Josh entered the physical therapy wing and froze. Lying on a desk in one of the rooms were 2 prosthetic legs, positioned almost deliberately. No wheelchair nearby, no surrounding equipment, no context for why they were there like that.
Everyone check out this guy's channel because he just hooked me up with a chocolate bar. I was really hungry, I was needing something.
I can tell. We're all feeling it, man. We're feeling it.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Hell yeah.
Seth runs over, he's like, you never seen this in an abandoned place ever.
I wonder what it's gonna be.
And I'm like, what is it? So I started throwing stuff out that I thought could be here. He said no, so we're gonna figure this out. We have to, this is already a really cool setup. I really like this a lot. Oh my God, dude. This stuff is all left there. It's like charity. If there was, like back in the old days. This stuff is amazing.
I think this is what they used to put like babies in.
Like an incubator?
Yeah, and the cool thing about them too, look, come over here.
Oh, it works. Oh my God, the equipment works.
Yeah.
Dude, honestly, now that you bring this up already though, it's probably one of the first places we've been in that you can actually turn the equipment on because it actually still has power and the equipment actually works and it's not super old.
They even got a little oxygen mask for a baby right here.
That is true. I don't know, is this an incubator? Guys, in the comments below, tell us. All right, hang on, coming in. All right.
Are you ready for this?
Yep. Wait, we can actually check our, what is it? Is it oxygen levels or? Because that's new. I've never seen that. What do? I just, yo.
Then they found a piece of medical equipment that still had power, inside a building that had been financially dead for 2 decades. Josh clipped the sensor onto his finger, and the device immediately began pulling a live heart rate reading. It screened cycling through outdated data that hadn't been updated since 2001.
You never want to hear.
You don't. Look,
never
I
want to
would
hear.
be louder so the nurse would hear that. Jesus.
Yeah, this is a very. This is definitely an old one. Let's put it back on.
See how
Oh, I saved us. My pulse is back. We stopped the alarm from going. I'm now alive again.
What's his pulse?
Guys, comment below. Is that a normal rate? Or is this a broken machine, or am I actually gonna...
Is it him?
This is amazing. This is...
The moment he removed his finger, the monitor flatlined. The alarm that followed was exactly the kind of sound you do not want echoing through the corridors of an abandoned hospital.
I don't know what to expect. I don't know anything. I'm completely winging this with the homies. So we're gonna see how this goes. All right.
That door up there.
This is a security room.
Yeah. Oh man, look, it's all the security cards.
Security department employee student registration. So this is like all the students here? Like...
That's what I think, yeah.
The security jacket.
Is that a security jacket?
Dude. I feel like you should rock it, bro. Getting somewhere. Crushed up pills for some reason. So we're going to literally unknown territory now.
Yeah, I mean, do you hear a beep? Listen to this.
From there, the crew descended into the basement and pushed further into the underground tunnel network running beneath the complex, a section no one had ever documented on camera before. They passed old security uniforms, filing cabinets stuffed with patient x-rays, and stacks of boxes labeled as medical waste alongside containers marked with patients' personal information.
So right now we're underground in the tunnels, and this is some of the old facilities. Again, all trashed, all destroyed, but no one has really ever explored this area. I love those lights. Looking through some of these files, some x-ray photos. Down here in the lockers, all the old securities jackets are here. That's awesome. But as you can tell, everything is most likely gone, scrapped, sold, maybe even stolen. Whoa, a lot of wheelchairs in there. You even got medical waste boxes. This is someone's patient's belongings. That's why it's all in medical boxes. This was a patient who stayed here, maybe got sick or something. Dude, all this stuff is here. Patient belongings, everything. So even the canes are left here by patients, and most likely they never got their cane back because they died. That has to be it, honestly.
They probably
How
didn't need 'em.
yeah. I don't know, unless...
Look, they went from the cane to the wheelchair.
Yeah, that's spooky. Obviously that's their wheelchair, you know what I mean? And they're all different wheelchairs. That's sad because, especially this, you're walking in the hospital with your wheelchair. Obviously wheelchairs are expensive. You're gonna come out with your wheelchair, and you're not. Most likely. And again, explorers, remember when I said in the beginning of this, everyone left here within 3 months short notice. That is exactly why most of their stuff is just all still here and left here. They didn't know what to do with half of it. The janitors and the workers here just left all their things.
Then Josh started noticing the wheelchairs. Not just one or two, multiple, all different sizes, scattered throughout the tunnels, alongside canes and mobility aids that patients had brought with them when they first walked through the hospital's front doors. He said it plainly on camera. Wheelchairs aren't cheap. People don't abandon them. The only explanation for this many being left behind in the basement of a hospital was that the patients who arrived with them never left on their own 2 feet. Mother had settled into the living room after a tiring, draining day, flipping through a book, while her son relaxed nearby with his video games. On the surface, it seemed like any other quiet evening at home. Nothing out of place, nothing alarming, just a household winding down for the night. But then, over in the corner, something about the bookshelf starts to feel off, as though the camera had frozen on the precise moment, right before everything was about to go wrong. Direct your attention to that corner shelf. A small doll, perched on top of it, appears to shift ever so slightly on its own, despite nothing visibly making contact with it. Then, just seconds afterward, a book launches itself from the shelf and slams onto the floor. The noise immediately throws the mother into a panic, and she rushes out of the room without sticking around to find out what comes next.
Alright. What? Looks like they're about to have a... What was I doing? You're doing this one. Is that one? Is that one?
Once the footage made its rounds online, people began going back and forth over whether the doll had any connection to the falling book. Some leaned toward a rational explanation. Perhaps the book had already been teetering on the edge, or vibrations traveling through the house had gradually nudged it loose, or the doll's apparent movement was simply a camera artifact. But others couldn't get past the sequence of events. The doll seems to move first, and then the book drops shortly after, almost as if some unseen force had redirected its energy from one object to the next. The person who posted the video never followed up with any kind of clarification, leaving the whole thing wide open for interpretation. So was this nothing more than a coincidental accident caught on film, or did this family unknowingly document genuine poltergeist activity? Two people stand motionless in their bedroom, completely frozen, while the closet door in front of them rattles and shakes. Not a subtle tremor, but a full, violent thrashing, like whatever is on the other side has run completely out of patience, and it only gets worse.
Honey, what is that? Okay, God. Oh my God.
Okay,
Oh my
okay.
God. Oh my God.
I'm gonna go look.
These are the new closet doors, guys. The new closet doors that we just installed. Oh my God. Okay. Nothing. Nothing in the closet. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Be careful.
Okay, no.
Okay, so clearly installing these doors, as you guys can see, we're still dealing with whatever is in our bedroom closet. I don't know, but freaked right out.
Through all of it, the woman somehow finds her voice, though it's shaky and barely holding together. She mentions that those closet doors were only just put in, brand new, just days ago, which immediately rules out warped wood, loose hinges, an aging house doing what old houses do. Every rational explanation gets eliminated before you even have a chance to suggest one. Then the man does something most of us would never have the nerve to do. He slowly walks forward and swings the door open, and the moment he does, the shaking cuts out completely, like someone hit a kill switch, and there's nothing inside, just clothes hanging in place, shelves totally untouched, every single corner exactly where it belongs. He doesn't just glance in either. He digs around, shifts things, peers into every dark corner, and still finds absolutely nothing. But then the camera widens, and that's when their dog starts growling, slow and deliberate, its gaze locked dead on that open closet, staring into the darkness like it's watching something move. Something the camera can't pick up, something neither of the two people in that room can detect. And that one detail is what sticks with you long after the footage is over. On April 26th, 2023, during a live broadcast on his YouTube channel, Terra al Extremo, a content creator named Luis found himself caught up in a baffling encounter that nobody has been able to explain since. The stream went by the title, Creepy Story. An elderly man asked me for a ride through a cemetery. While making his way through a secluded stretch of road, miles away from any town or sign of civilization, Luis noticed a man standing alone on the empty roadside.
Ahí está. Ábrale. No soy funcionario de esto. Ay, me cayó todo malo. Y borraché, me perdí cuando me fui. Quedamos por acá. Y me hicieron de quedando. ¿Dónde estamos?
The individual appeared to be quite old, visibly confused, and completely disoriented. His state immediately drew the concern of everyone tuned into the broadcast. Viewers were left wondering how a man of his age, in that kind of condition, could possibly have wound up by himself in such a desolate spot, nowhere near any houses or well-traveled roads. Those who watched the footage described his level of disorientation as so severe that it seemed almost impossible he had made it there under his own power. A number of people in the comments suggested that someone might have dropped him off and driven away. His presence in such an isolated location simply defied easy explanation. Even so, Luis chose to step in and offered the man a lift to his home. The ride itself turned out to be anything but straightforward. The elderly man kept changing his directions, struggled to articulate where he actually needed to go, and frequently seemed unsure of the way himself. He also repeatedly insisted that their route had to pass through a cemetery, which stretched the trip out considerably. After more than 20 minutes of driving, they eventually pulled up to the man's residence, where he said he lived on his own. The whole ordeal ended on a relatively positive note, yet one nagging question was never resolved. How had this man traveled so far from home, and what had brought him to that remote road in the first place? Whether it came down to simple disorientation, an unfortunate chain of events, or something another person had done, no one ever arrived at a definitive answer. A video posted by a TikToker known as El Moisio in early February 2026 seems, at first glance, to capture nothing more than a casual afternoon at a playground with his kid. Everything looks perfectly ordinary, just a dad watching over his child as they play. Yet from the very start, there's something off about his demeanor, like he can sense that the environment around him isn't quite right. That uneasy feeling is probably what prompted him to pull out his phone.
No te vas a golpear la resbaladilla cuando te bajes. ¿Me bajo? Sí. ¡Ey, Dana! Dana, ven. Venga, mira, cheque, a ver, miren el árbol aquel. No, yo, la neta, te lo juro que yo miraba algo, como que se asomaba. A ver, venga. ¿Eh? No, es que yo miré algo, ¿no? No pasa nada. No, mi amor, no pasa nada, ven. No era nada, ven. ¿Qué? ¿Qué es? No sé, Mira, sí se miró. ¡Ey! ¿Quién está ahí? Yo sí miré que se viera algo. Mira, ¿te checaste? ¿Viste? A ver. Oh, mira. ¿Qué es eso? ¡Hey! ¡Lugo! ¡Asómate!
And hit record. Take a much closer look at what his camera actually picked up. Somewhere around the 1 minute mark, something strange begins to emerge in the background. A shadow near one of the trees appears to be completely motionless, and it's not something you'd catch on first viewing. But once you really focus on it, the shape stands out in a way that doesn't fit with anything else in the frame. Then things get even more unsettling. A head slowly emerges from behind the tree, just for a split second before vanishing out of sight. It's a fleeting appearance, but the positioning of the figure strongly suggests it was keeping a close eye on them the whole time. To this day, nobody has been able to confirm with any certainty what exactly was recorded in that footage. Third clip tonight comes from Exploring Abandoned Mines, a North American channel run by a guy named Frank, who documents his descents into historic underground mining systems and ghost towns, covering industrial archaeology, forgotten artifacts, and the very real dangers of going deep beneath the earth. The camera never stopped rolling. It's March 14th, 2026, at Yorindari, Australia.
Lots of poisonous snakes here. But now we're just swapping tails. The crew is getting ready from Australia to join us, and we're checking out some mines.
The gas detector triggers. No countdown, no gradual alarm, just a sharp digital warning cutting through the darkness. An invisible atmospheric threat lurking somewhere ahead. The type of hazard that gives you zero indication it's there until your body is already failing. They press on regardless. Obviously they do, but I will.
You do.
Welcome to use intelligent voice. Gas detector starting. Please wait.
So we might as well go for a little walk and through the water, I guess, eh? It doesn't look that deep. Are you worried about a couple of feet of water?
Oh, flooded drift. Dark water up to the waist. Freezing cold, with absolutely no light source. They step in anyway, struggling to keep their footing on a submerged floor they cannot see, suspended over a void of unknown depth. The audio picks up what the footage alone cannot convey. Strained breathing, heavy exhales, the unmistakable sound of people forcing themselves through a situation they have no business being in. Huh.
Yeah, I don't think we can make it.
I think we're sort of in a drive, but I think that goes into a scope.
It looks like it's just level, eh? I don't think we can make it through there because we're only got like 3 feet from the back there, so there's probably at least 5 feet deep there.
Yeah, how far can you see my torch go?
Oh, right to a corner back there.
Serious?
It goes around a corner there, a curve there. But that's gonna be tough getting back that far. I think, I don't know.
Well, that was hard work, mate.
There's another passage going to the left, going up, but it probably wouldn't go to the surface. Probably been filled in too.
How deep are the rocks just here?
Shine your light all the way up there, and I'll get a shot. Looking up there. Yeah. I'm scared if I go towards that wall, I'm gonna be about 5 feet of water, and then
The tunnel squeezes down to roughly 3 feet of clearance between the waterline and the ragged rock ceiling. Directly below them sits an unmapped stope, a section where the ground simply vanishes. One misstep to either side and you're submerged. Submerged in there means you don't resurface. They continue forward. Massive fucking wombat. Yeah, it's a wombat.
Really? So it must go to the surface then, right? So what's he gonna do? Nothing, right? I'll take a picture of him.
Wait, he's waking up. Frankie, moving. Go quiet. Come on, quiet. It's a massive wombat.
A huge, cornered, wild wombat. And here's something most people genuinely don't realize. Wombats carry bone-crushing digging claws and are known to defend themselves aggressively when they feel trapped. In a tight, deteriorating tunnel with nowhere to retreat, that is a serious problem. The conversation that breaks out between them is completely sincere. If they slip past it and the exit above is blocked, they'd be forced to double back directly toward an infuriated animal in total darkness. They turn back. Smart decision. It's too small.
It's not even holding, I'm having to hold on to the tail. It's the only way that's stopping it from going. Huh. Well. Well, this is kind of funny. I mean, this rope doesn't work on this. It doesn't even stop it.
Yeah, back at the surface, Frank immediately rappels down a 535-foot mine shaft because apparently the day hadn't delivered enough. Halfway through the descent, the safety rope turns out to be the wrong size for the rigging setup. He's gripping the tail line with his bare hands, dangling above a 535-foot drop, with nothing else standing between him and the bottom. He gets back up, hundreds of feet of climbing a static rope, with his hands, toxic atmosphere, waist-deep floodwater over an invisible floor, a cornered wombat with claws literally engineered to tear through rock, and a near free fall on the wrong rope, all packed into a single day. Honestly though, the wombat would have been the end of me. Everything else before it? Fine. It was the evening of September 18th, 2023. A group of friends had come together at someone's home to run through choreography for an upcoming dance recital. With the performance only days away, they were determined to get every step tight and perfectly timed. Over the course of the night, they filmed individual routines before eventually recording their full group number together. But a few hours after the dancing wrapped up and the energy in the room had calmed down, something unsettling took place. The group says they were all seated in a room mid-game when things took a strange turn.
Middle, down. Okay,
Oh.
I'll do the, yeah.
I feel like I'm in a 90s dance.
Let's do it.
You can only move when the lights are off. You can't move when the lights are on. You have 5 moves to get to me. Are you ready? Oh, okay. Oh, all right. You have 5 moves to get to me. Oh.
What the hell?
Oh my
Turn
god.
the light
Hang
on.
Sorry. Something fell, right?
Yeah, it was sitting right here.
And it just fell off? Okay.
Fell? That's how this flew off. There's no way
It was
this
here?
fell. Feel how heavy this
I
is.
don't know.
Yes, it was sitting right here. Did you touch that?
No, she didn't touch it.
I don't know. That's, I don't know. Maybe it was like... Wait. What? Was that already
Why is that
moving?
one?
Oh!
Oh my god! Oh my god! You guys! What the hell?
That was okay.
So
What?
no.
What the cat is?
Oh my god.
Oh my god. What is...
Wait.
The whole incident was recorded on camera. In the final seconds of the footage, a sharp, heavy thud rings out across the room. The girls go completely still. They recognize the sound immediately. It was a crystal cube, the same one they had watched tumble off a surface earlier that night. The odd thing was, someone had carefully repositioned it on the shelf afterward, and it hadn't budged since. Casey, one of the girls seen in the video, later described how the cube didn't simply fall a second time. It appeared to have been launched. The distance it covered across the room suggested it had been hurled by someone, yet nobody was anywhere close to it, and that wasn't even where the strangeness stopped. Shortly after, the light fixture hanging from the ceiling started swaying with no apparent cause. Then, a cabinet door gradually swung open on its own, with no one having gone near it. That was the breaking point. The girls bolted from the room in a panic. To this day, none of the group has posted any kind of update or offered a rational explanation, leaving this one firmly in the category of caught on camera moments that nobody has been able to account for. It's been a good while since we last featured a creepy Japanese video on this channel. In this one, 2 people are hanging out at a playground in the middle of the night for reasons that aren't entirely clear. The good times don't last long though, because they soon pick up on a strange knocking noise coming from somewhere behind them. They start searching for whatever is making that sound, and that's when things take a dark turn.
何今の相談何どうした何なんだよ
Like so many Japanese ghost videos, this one feels almost too polished to be real, yet that doesn't make it any less compelling to watch. The entertainment value alone makes it worth your time, and if you decide to binge a few of these before you go to sleep, don't say you weren't warned. Was the spirit in this footage someone who met their end at that very playground? Or could it be something that's been shadowing these 2 wherever they go? In this next clip, a woman was hired to do late night decorating at a hospital for an early morning event. Put in a solitary wing where she could work comfortably, the nurses on duty, far from where she was, completely alone in a section of the building that had been empty when she arrived, and walked those hallways herself to confirm it. And then she starts hearing a baby crying. There is no baby in that wing. She checked those hallways. The sound drifts through the corridor in a way that doesn't have a source she can locate. Mournful, drawn out, repeating, shifting at points into something that sounds more distinctly like a child sobbing. And then a sudden violent bang cuts through everything and the crying goes completely silent, as if whatever was making that sound simply stopped the moment it was interrupted. In Latin American folklore, that specific combination, a woman or child crying in an empty space at night with no visible source, is one of the most immediately recognized descriptions of La Llorona, a figure deeply embedded in Mexican and Central American tradition, said to wander at night weeping for her lost children, heard long before she's ever seen, her cries carrying through corridors and open spaces the way this one did. Hospitals carry their own particular weight in paranormal research. Locations where grief, loss, and the transition between life and death are concentrated in the same walls over decades. The kind of accumulated emotional residue that some researchers believe is exactly what residual sound phenomena attach themselves to. A baby crying in an empty hospital wing at night with no explanation and no source sits at the intersection of both of those traditions in a way that's difficult to dismiss. So what do you think? Was something wandering that corridor that had no business being there? Or do those walls simply hold on to more than they're supposed to? The following video is about a man who first noticed something strange in a room he describes as his, a space decorated with books, porcelain dolls, and a tall green floor lamp that, according to him, has a habit of misbehaving. Every time he sits down in that room, the lamp begins to flicker. Not a slow fade, not a gradual dim, an erratic, intense strobe that stops almost the moment he acknowledges it. One night, he decided to grab his phone and catch it happening. Watch.
Where every time I come in here and sit down, this light starts flickering. Y'all doing that? Is that y'all? Oh, now stop. Okay. Funny.
Some people believe this is a textbook sign of an intelligent haunting, one where the presence isn't just wandering, but actually responding to the person in the room. Others point to the dolls specifically, noting that in paranormal circles, porcelain dolls are among the objects most commonly associated with attached entities, items said to act as anchors for spirits that don't want to leave. The timing is what's hard to argue away. Then things escalated. During the day, in the same property's garage, he came outside after hearing a noise and found the attic access door hanging wide open. But before he could even fully process what he was seeing, the door slammed shut on its own. 3 loud, forceful bangs, the spring-loaded hatch retracting hard against the ceiling.
Noise, and I came out here and this fucking door was open and now it just shut by itself. Light. freaking mind. Jesus Christ. There's nobody up here. What the fuck?
He pulls the cord to reopen it, climbs the ladder into the dark attic with his phone's light cutting through the dust, and finds absolutely nothing. No person, no animal, no explanation. A mechanism like that doesn't forceful fail on its own. Spring-loaded hatches open slowly or stick. They don't slam shut in 3 hard beats like something pushing from below. It didn't stop there. The attic door did it again, and this time he was determined to prove on camera that no one was hiding up there, causing it. He was standing in the garage when it happened. Watch.
What's going on now? Oh my God. It happened again. All right, I'm gonna prove it to you this time. I'm gonna climb on top of the freaking car. I'm gonna prove to you there's nobody up there. Fuck. Damn it. I'm gonna break my damn windshield. Okay, let me turn on my screen brightness. Oh, fuck. I'm climbing all the way up in here. I'm gonna prove to y'all. Oh, light works this time, thank God. Okay. There's nobody up here. There is nobody up here. Let's do a full 360. Everybody always thinks I've got somebody up here like freaking messing with the attic door. There's nobody up here.
Same garage, same hatch, same violent slam. And this time, he climbs on top of his car to reach the ladder, pulls himself up into the attic, and does a full 360-degree pan of the space while still catching his breath, narrating the whole thing. Everybody always thinks I've got somebody up here messing with the attic door. The attic is empty, completely empty. Whatever is opening and slamming that hatch isn't doing it from inside. And if you're thinking there's a rational explanation, I'd love to hear it, because the footage doesn't offer one. That same night, he took his flashlight into the backyard, and what he found there was something else entirely. He spotted a tall, slender, pale figure standing inside the wooden gazebo at the far end of the yard, completely still, and according to him, semi-translucent, like you could faintly see the structure behind it through its body. He initially turned to go back inside, then changed his mind.
Can you see that? What the hell is that? And it kind of looks like it's see-through. Okay. I don't know what to do. I'm gonna go back inside. I gotta see. It's gone. It's gone. It's not there anymore. It's not there anymore. Oh, fuck. What was that noise? What was that noise? Oh my God. Oh my God. What the hell was that noise? It sounded like it was right behind me.
He walks out across the dark lawn toward the gazebo, and by the time he gets there, the figure is gone. He's standing in the empty structure, saying, "It's not there anymore," when a sharp, loud crack like a large branch snapping, comes from somewhere in the darkness behind him. He runs. Full sprint back to the house, fumbling with the door, locking it, and breathing hard on the other side. Some viewers immediately reached for the label of a shadow person or a white lady. Apparitions described in paranormal traditions as tall, pale, and stationary, often reported near outdoor structures or tree lines. Others think what he saw could have been a form of crisis apparition, something tied not to the location but to him specifically, which would explain why the activity inside the house and the figure outside seem to be part of the same escalating pattern rather than separate incidents. Whether the flickering lamp, the slamming attic door, and the pale figure in the gazebo are connected or just a string of unrelated events, one thing is clear. Whatever is happening in and around this property isn't staying in one place, and it doesn't seem to be slowing down. In this next clip, a father is home alone with his 2 young daughters on what looks like a completely ordinary afternoon. Children's show in the background, older daughter on the couch, toddler wandering the living room in her little red heart outfit. Nothing about the scene suggesting anything is wrong. And then something near the doorway catches his attention, and he moves toward it fast, telling his older daughter to grab the toddler before he even has the camera fully up. Focus of the door.
Ahorita vengo. Mames. Vete para allá, mami. Hija, agarra a la niña. Agarra a la niña. Por favor. Voy a ver algo. Ahí espérenme afuera. Mi esposa no está y vean lo que se acaba de ver. Casi no me da tiempo de grabarlo, pero está bastante cañón.
Rapid, panicked Spanish, voice tight, explaining that his wife is away and something just stuck its head out from that doorway while his kids were playing feet away from it. The toddler starts crying in the background. His older daughter asks why from the other room, and he tells both of them to wait outside. The fear in his voice is the part that doesn't have an easy counter-argument, because that specific quality, the tight, controlled panic of a parent trying not to completely lose it in front of his children, is very difficult to manufacture. In paranormal research, humanoid figures that appear briefly in doorways or around corners and retreat the moment they're noticed are among the most commonly reported encounters across cultures, and the behavior itself, peeking, watching, withdrawing, suggests something with awareness, something that was observing that living room and the children in it and pulled back the moment it realized it had been seen. A doorway is a threshold, and in almost every tradition that has ever documented this kind of encounter, thresholds are where these things like to stand. So what do you think? Was something watching those little girls play, or did an ordinary shadow in a cluttered corner do the rest of the work on its own? In this next clip, Harry McClary is filming his wife standing in the entryway of their home in the middle of the day, staring up at the ceiling. Not in curiosity, but in the way you stare at something when you're trying to figure out if it's about to get worse. For over 20 seconds, a series of loud, heavy, rhythmic thumps has been shaking through the house, striking roughly once per second with no visible cause and no sign of stopping. Harry moves through the entryway and up toward the staircase, panning toward the ceiling, then rushing up toward a closed wooden door at the top of the landing, the direction the sounds seem to be coming from. Watch. Polski. The thumping continues the entire time, consistent in volume and pace, methodical in a way that rules out anything settling or shifting. And then it cuts off the moment their small black dog runs up the stairs, and you hear Harry say firmly, "No, Kevin, stay back." That instinct is what most viewers point to, because he wasn't warning the dog away from a sound. He was warning him away from whatever was making it, which implies he already had some sense of what was up there, or at least enough of a sense to know Kevin shouldn't get any closer. The door at the top of those stairs stayed closed. No one ever found the source. And this isn't the first time something like this has happened in that house, which shifts the weight of what you're watching from an isolated incident into a pattern. And patterns, in paranormal research, are always the more unsettling finding. A presence that returns to the same location, produces the same kind of sustained, rhythmic disturbance, and stops the moment something living gets too close, suggests something that is not only aware of its environment, but aware of who else is in it. So what do you think? Is there something at the top of those stairs that has made a habit of making itself heard? Or does that house have an explanation hiding somewhere behind that closed door? In the following clip you're about to watch, a Blink security camera mounted high on a wall captures something strange in the hallway of a home late at night. A teenager noticed his cat acting strange. Not the usual zoomies or chasing something across the floor, but deliberately trying to get his attention, persistent enough that he eventually did what you're apparently supposed to do when a cat leads you somewhere. He followed it. The cat takes him straight to his brother and sister's room, and he goes in. And then, after a few moments inside, he comes back out with an urgency that tells you everything you need to know about what he found in there. Not a slow walk, not a casual exit, but the kind of sprint that your body produces when your brain has already decided that whatever is behind you is not something you want to be near. Now, the camera doesn't show us what he saw inside that room, and honestly, that might be worse, because what he said he saw was a 7-foot-tall black figure standing in there, in his sibling's room, in a house where a cat apparently knew it was there before any person did. In paranormal research, animals consistently demonstrate awareness of presences that humans can't perceive, registering something in the electromagnetic or sensory range that we lost access to somewhere along the way. And a cat that leads someone directly to the room where an entity is standing isn't acting randomly, it's communicating. So what do you think? Was there something 7 feet tall waiting in that room? Or did the cat lead him somewhere? His imagination did the rest of the work. In this next clip, a night security guard is doing his rounds at work. Glass door in front of him. The kind of quiet, uneventful shift that makes up most of the job. He's been working this post long enough that he knows every sound and every shadow in that building, which is exactly why he started filming when he noticed something he couldn't explain. He flips the camera to the front-facing view, points it toward the glass door, and what he catches on the other side of that glass stops him cold. Watch.
Es solo un video. El video. ¿Alguien vio los dedos?
Right there at the handle of the door, fingers, visible through the glass, pressed against it from the outside, and then slowly, deliberately withdrawn, pulled back into the darkness, the way you'd pull your hand away if you suddenly realized you'd been seen. Not a smear, not a reflection, not light playing off the surface, fingers, with the kind of slow, intentional movement that puts them in a completely different category from anything environmental. And this isn't the first time he's noticed something at that door. He makes that clear. This is just the first time he had a camera running when it happened. In paranormal research, liminal spaces like building entrances, lobbies, and glass thresholds are considered hotspots for activity precisely because they exist between two states, inside and outside, safe and exposed, known and unknown, and whatever presses itself against that boundary isn't lost or wandering, it's probing. So what do you think? Is something testing that door from the other side, or does this guard have a very human problem he hasn't fully accounted for yet? In this next clip, a woman is home alone in her apartment during the day when her doorbell rings. Not once, but repeatedly, with no one on the other side. She's filming on her phone, walking slowly toward her front door, and you can already hear in the way she moves that this isn't her first time dealing with something like this. Her voice, cautious at first, calls out in French, asking if anyone's there. The hallway outside is completely empty. She checks the staircase. Nothing. Watch.
Y a quelqu'un? Putain, ça va pas commencer comme ça tout le temps, j'en ai plein le cul.
The doorbell rings 3 times across less than a minute, and each time she opens that door, there's no one there. Not in the hallway, not on the stairs, not anywhere she can see. By the second ring, she sounds exhausted, muttering in French that she's sick of this, that she can't keep going through it. That detail is telling. This isn't shock. It's someone who's been worn down by repetition. Then the third ring hits, and the camera jerks violently as she lets out a sharp, terrified scream. There's something about the third ring that breaks her completely, maybe because she'd already confirmed the space was empty, and it rang anyway. Some believe this kind of recurring, disembodied doorbell activity is consistent with what paranormal researchers call a poltergeist, an entity associated less with haunting a location and more with directing its energy toward a specific person, often escalating over time. Skeptics would say a faulty wireless doorbell could explain it. But a faulty doorbell doesn't explain why she sounds like someone who's been fighting this battle alone for a very long time. So what do you think she's actually dealing with? The following videos appear to be captured by a group of men conducting what looks like a paranormal investigation inside a cluttered, dimly lit room, the kind of space that already feels charged before anything unusual happens, with old stained walls, worn furniture, and objects arranged almost as if they've been placed there intentionally. The men are speaking Romanian throughout, and at one point, one of them can be heard reciting what sounds like a religious confession, solemn, almost liturgical, which sets a tone that's hard to shake. Watch.
Mărturisesc că sunt vinovat focului de veci, viermilor neadormiți.
Uai de mine! Uai de mine, ce-a fost asta?
Oi, să învârtească!
Uai de mine, ai văzut?
Doi, să învârtească!
Mamă, frate, ce-a fost asta?
Uite așa să învârtească!
Vai de mine, dacă l-am... Vai, Leo, ce-a fost asta? Mamă, frate, am prins-o pe cameră, jur.
Oi, hai-te mai că... Viermilor neadormiți.
Uai de mine! Uai de mine, ce-a fost asta?
A wooden chair in the adjacent room violently tips over backwards with a loud crash, with no visible person anywhere near it, and the men immediately erupt into panicked shouting, one of them yelling that the chair spun on its own, another asking what on earth just happened. The slow motion replay makes it even harder to dismiss, because you can see the full arc of the movement with nothing and no one initiating it. Some viewers think the prayer being recited at the exact moment of impact is the most unsettling detail, not because it's evidence of anything specific, but because it raises the question of whether something was already being invited in before the camera was even rolling. In Romanian folk tradition, reciting confessions aloud in a spiritually charged space is sometimes believed to provoke a response from entities that feed on guilt or unresolved spiritual debt. And if that chair moving was the beginning, what came next suggests it was far from over. Not long after, the activity shifted from a single object to something far more chaotic.
Băi! Gata, gata, adă farfurile repede. Adă repede farfurile.
Băi, în picior mi-o dat, măi.
Adă repede, fac, gata, opriți tot. Uite, 2 căni o dat. Gata, opriți-vă. Opriți înregistrarea. Cu plăcere, da, da. Băi, băi, băi!
2 white ceramic mugs are violently thrown from a cabinet on the far side of the room, one shattering completely on the floor, sending shards and reddish liquid across a striped rug. And then just as the men start to collect themselves, a second loud bang sends another object flying, one of them saying it struck his leg. The men's dialogue is raw and unfiltered, someone telling them to stop recording, another voice responding, possibly from a device in the room, with pleasure. That detail alone stopped a lot of viewers cold. Whether it came from a spirit box or an electronic device picking up a stray signal, nobody has been able to confirm it. But the pattern is hard to ignore. First a chair, now mugs thrown with enough force to shatter and injure, which is exactly the kind of escalation poltergeist activity tends to follow, starting with isolated movements and progressing steadily toward objects making contact with people. The men's reactions, the way they scramble, the way one of them just says, "Enough, stop everything," don't read as performance. They investigated anyway. Watch closely.
Îndrăznind aler la milostivirea ta cu frică și cu cutremur.
Cu cutremur, mă. Ia, ia!
Cât am greșit ție.
Băi, fii atent!
Cu cuvântul vorbim de azi.
Vai de capul meu!
Oprește cu...
Ia! Ia, că-o căzut tot! Ia, că-o căzut tot bastoanele, o căzut tot, băi, omule, băi! Ia bastonul. Ia bastonul din smântână, de unde? Că nu mai este niciun baston, nimic. Gata e. E gata e.
Ia vezi, că și pune poate. Vezi, aici.
Nu ai, mă, să dea draci dacă e ceva, tu ești nebun.
Azi voi pe lua bastonul iar. Lasă-o în pizdă, mă.
Nu e, frate, niciun baston,
Ia
nimic.
vezi că bag lumina pe partea asta.
Ia.
Bagă și după aia, bagă și după asta.
Na, că nu-i nimic.
Nimic, a?
Nimica, frate, dispără bastonul, iar gata.
Și de sub acolo? Nimic. Nimic acolo, nimic.
Uite păpușa asta deșurată.
Și eu preotul.
Bă, uitați-o cu dulapul cum se mișcă singur, mă, frate, tu ești nebun. Ah! Unde-s, măi? Nu-i niciun baston. Uite. Uite țăpă ăsta, uite. Niciun baston, nimic. Uite. 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 Uite, cade bila jos, acum. Uite dulap, care se mișcă singur, uite, nu-i legat cu nimic, uite. Uite. Voi sunteți nebuni, băi? Băi, noi când v-am zis că... Băi, nu mai există, gata, încăpere. Nu mai există încăpere, ca să știți. Noi suntem numărul 1, suntem. Hai de mine, ce-a fost asta? Ce-a fost asta?
E jale, mâncați așa.
Stay calm. Stay calm. Stay calm.
Calm down.
O-dat cu ce-o dat.
Hai, au reușit, stați calmi. Gata, a terminat-o, hai.
Stai calm.
Adă bastonul ca înapoi. Trebuie să fac carte aici, sunt mic. Portal îmi trebuie. Portalul îmi trebuie.
E sub dulap baston.
Objects on a small wooden cabinet begin vibrating and sliding on their own before 2 walking canes propped against the wall are forcefully thrown to the floor. Then the entire cabinet jolts and shakes as if grabbed from beneath, and a sharp, unexplained bang erupts from somewhere off camera, sending the men stumbling backward. One of them mentions closing a portal, which suggests they weren't just observing, but had been actively attempting some form of spiritual communication beforehand. And if something had been deliberately summoned, the escalating violence of these responses starts to feel less like random activity and more like something reacting with increasing irritation. The missing cane is arguably the strangest detail. Investigators can only account for one of the two that fell, and despite searching the area thoroughly, the second one never turns up on camera. A quiet footnote that somehow lands harder than the chaos around it. So what do you think? Was this group of men simply documenting a haunted space, or did they walk into that room and wake something up that had no interest in being observed? In this next clip, a woman is home alone at night, or at least she believes she is, when she notices something standing behind the frosted glass panel of her bathroom door. She's filming on her phone, her voice dropping to a hushed, anxious whisper as she explains in Spanish that she can see the shape from where she's standing, but the phone's reflection keeps getting in the way. She says she literally can't go to the bathroom in peace because of whoever or whatever is there. Then she moves through the house, down a dark hallway with light cutting in from a room at the far end, before showing her bedroom to prove a point. Watch.
De acá lo veo, pero el celular le da el reflejo. Literalmente no puedo ir al baño tranquila porque está él. Y no hay nadie en la casa. Nadie de nadie está en la casa.
Through the textured glass of that door, you can make out a dark, humanoid silhouette, a head and shoulders, motionless, standing just on the other side. She walks the camera through the rest of the house, showing an empty bedroom, an unmade bed, no one anywhere. No one is in the house, she says. No one at all. That tension between what she sees and what should logically be there is hard to shake. Some viewers think it's a shadow cast by an object or a trick of the light bouncing off the frosted glass. Others aren't so sure because the shape is too specific, the rounded head, the width of the shoulders, to easily dismiss. That alone is unsettling. But what makes the second clip arguably worse is how calm everything is before it happens. Her and her husband are in bed watching television, relaxed, covered in blankets when this happens.
En el mejor de los casos, la hemorragia se absorbe. No continuará la hemorragia y hará que el cerebro central. ¿Qué significa eso?
The blanket covering the man's left shoulder is suddenly yanked downward with a sharp, forceful tug. Fast, violent, and completely without explanation, and a distinct swooshing sound goes with it. He flinches immediately, looking down toward his right. She turns her head in the same direction. There's no one else in the frame. Some believe what was caught is classic poltergeist behavior, physical interference with objects in an otherwise calm domestic space, the kind of activity that tends to escalate when ignored. Skeptics will point to the static camera and suggest it was staged, but the couple's reaction is immediate and looks genuinely startled. Whether these two clips are connected or not, they both carry the same unsettling thread, the idea that something might be sharing a space that's supposed to be private. And like and subscribe if you're enjoying watching this video. What would you do if you started seeing shapes behind closed doors in your own home? In the following clip you're about to watch, a roadside security camera captures a motorcycle traveling down a semi-rural stretch of road at dusk, headlight on, normal speed. Nothing about the scene suggesting anything is wrong. And then a collision. Both men go down hard on the asphalt and stay there, completely motionless. But then something gets up and walks away. Watch. There for a moment, and then simply gone, while both men remain on the ground where they fell. In paranormal research, this falls into one of the rarest and most debated categories of footage: the possible capture of a soul departing the body in the immediate aftermath of death, consciousness leaving in the only way it knows how. Still moving, still going somewhere, completely unaware that the body it belonged to is no longer getting up. The figure doesn't linger, doesn't look back, doesn't seem to register what just happened. It just walks, the way someone walks when they think they're still alive and still have somewhere to be. That detail is the one that's hardest to sit with, because it suggests that whatever left that body in those first moments had no idea it was leaving for good. So what do you think? Did that camera capture the last independent movement of someone who didn't know they had just taken their final ride? Or is there another explanation for what walked away from that crash? In this next clip, a woman lost her mum a week before this was recorded, and on this particular night, her elderly Labrador is sitting beside her, and the dog won't stop staring at the corner of the room. Watch. The dog holds its gaze there for nearly the entire clip, head raised, alert, mouth opening periodically to lick the air, completely still in the focused, unwavering way that animals get when they've locked onto something their owner can't see or hear. It doesn't bark, doesn't move, doesn't look away. And the woman filming believes she knows exactly who her dog is looking at. In paranormal research, and honestly across most cultures that have ever documented grief and loss, the period immediately following a death is considered the window where contact is most likely, a soul still tethered enough to the people and places it loved to find its way back one last time before whatever comes next. Dogs occupy a unique position in that conversation because their sensory range operates so far outside human perception that what registers to them as a clear, locatable presence can be completely invisible and inaudible to the person lying right next to them. This dog isn't reacting to a sound from outside, isn't startled by movement. It's fixed on a specific point in that room with the calm, certain attention of an animal that has found something rather than one that's searching for it. A week after losing her mom, in a bedroom that probably still carries the particular weight that spaces hold after someone close is gone, her dog found something in the corner worth watching. So what do you think? Was her mum stopping by one last time, or is there another explanation for what that dog spent the night looking at? The following videos were all recorded inside the same 1920s house, a place that, based on everything caught on camera here, seems to have a serious problem with staying quiet. The decor alone sets the tone before anything even happens. Taxidermy foxes on windowsills, crucifixes on the walls, candlelit dining rooms, antique clocks ticking in dim hallways. It's the kind of home that already feels like it belongs to something other than the people living in it. And according to whoever is filming, it isn't just atmosphere. The activity started small, the kind of thing you might explain away on any given day. But over the course of these clips, it stopped being small very quickly. Watch.
Here we go. More knocking noises. What is going on? Hello? Hello? Who is here? Make yourself known. Go on. Where are you? There's knocking from the living room. It's from the living room, that. Hello? Come on. You've done a few things today, haven't you? Whoa, okay, TV's on. Thank you, did you do that? Okay, calm down. Right, it's the atmosphere in here. is insane. What the hell? Oh my god, the atmosphere is crazy. It's cold, it feels weird. Oh my god, I don't like it, I don't like it. Hey buddy, you okay? You okay? You okay? What? What? Oh my god, the chairs. Oh, are you seeing this? Are you seeing this? There is, I am telling you now, there is nobody in this house except me. My partner's gone to his mum's, the chairs are on the table. He's gone his mum's. I'm just about to head out myself. I'm gonna have to pick this up. Oh, shit. Oh my god, I'm just about to head out. Thank God. What?
In the middle of what looks like a routine walkthrough of the house during the day, the television in the living room switches on completely by itself, displaying its boot-up screen with no one anywhere near it. Moments later, the chandelier overhead flickers on, cuts out, then flickers again erratically. And when the camera makes it to the dining room, the reason for the walkthrough becomes obvious. One of the heavy, dark wood dining chairs is balanced on top of another, stacked seat to seat in a way that shouldn't be physically possible, while a third chair lies overturned on the floor entirely. These aren't lightweight objects. The filmer reaches in and touches both chairs, demonstrating they're solid and real. That alone is unsettling. What makes it harder to dismiss is the fact that nobody in the footage seems to know when it happened or what caused it. The term that gets attached to activity like this, objects rearranging, lights behaving on their own, is poltergeist, a word that comes from the German meaning noisy ghost or rumbling spirit, and the label fits in more ways than one here. Poltergeist cases in the historical record tend to involve exactly this kind of physical disruption. Furniture moved, objects thrown or displaced, lights affected, the environment itself behaving as though something is interacting with it. That night, the house apparently wasn't finished. Listen closely.
Right, these two guys are going absolutely crazy. What is it, boys? Oh, sorry. What's wrong? What is it? What is it? Are you okay? I don't know what it is. What's wrong, Will? God, it's cold in here. What is it, boys? What's wrong? Oh my god. The cat cannot knock that over. Is somebody in here with me? Hello? Hello? What the heck, Pumpkin? What's wrong? Oh my god, it's so cold. Hey, Will. What's doing that? Whoa, are you seeing this? Boys, what is going on? These two are acting really weird as well. Why are you here? If it's you doing this, you need to prove it. Okay. That's just swung again. Are you seeing this? What? What the hell? Oh my god. Come on, let's go. This house is insane. I cannot believe it. And for anybody who's even remotely skeptical at some of the things going on in here, I cannot make cats be actors. So you might have heard me say on videos a few times now, they all start acting strange before anything happens. And well, you've seen that. They were mithering me and leading me into the dining room. Oh, another one's joined us. Can you sense something's going on, love? I know. Okay, whatever that means. I'll get to the bottom of it, my love. Jesus. All clear in here.
A single bulb on the chandelier in the darkened dining room begins to flash and flicker wildly, strobing in the darkness with no one visible near any light switch. The man in the green robe appears in a mirror reflection shortly after, clearly reacting to what's been happening around him. His gestures expressive even if his exact words are difficult to make out. The kind of reaction that comes from someone who's been watching their own home behave strangely for too long. One of the orange cats sits on the stairs and meows into the quiet, which, given what follows in the next clip, starts to feel less like coincidence. Daytime didn't bring any calm. Watch.
I'm just about to have my morning brew and these two are trying to get my attention again. What is it? Do you want, mate? Are you playing up again? At something past 7? What the hell? I've literally got my suit ready to go. That's how early it is in the morning. What is it, boys? They always start acting up the clown when there's something about to go on. And they've been hitting at my legs to try and get me to... What the hell? Are you hearing this? It's banging. I would appreciate it if whatever is going on in here, you stop trying to destroy my things. What do you want? You can see something. I know you can. You can, can't you? That's moving. Well, I think it got banged. What do you want? Give it a break. Boys, stop fighting. See, they don't do this. Something's upset them. What is it, boys? Come on. Oh, wow. Here we go with the coldness. The corridor's freezing. Most importantly, I have to get ready and go out for the day. What do you want? Is this Edith? The lady who's came through before? Hello? Where are you? Hello? What do you want? Are you in here? Show yourself. There's nobody here, see? What on earth?
After a slow tour through the same house in natural daylight, the camera documents something that raises the stakes considerably. The front door, which had reportedly been left locked, is now standing wide open, revealing the driveway and the cars outside. Nobody opened it. Nobody was near it. The 3-minute and 25-second gap between the last shot of the hallway and the discovery of the open door is marked by a time skip, leaving exactly what happened in between entirely unexplained. Skeptics would point out that an open door is one of the easiest things to stage, and that's a fair argument. But taken alongside everything else documented in this house, the stacked furniture, the flickering lights, the television turning itself on, the open door starts to feel less like a coincidence and more like a pattern. Something in this house appears to be interacting with its physical environment in a very deliberate way. And then the cats started acting up again.
Right, guys, I'm putting the phone out. These have been meowing like crazy by the bedroom door, like crashing into it, as if trying to get my attention. What is it? What you want? Something going on? Hey? Hey? Come on. What's going on? What is it, guys? Whoa, it's cold in here. Hey, what is it, buddy? Oh, what the hell? Oh my god. Yep, good idea. What the hell was that? Hello? Is anything in here? Hello? Show yourself. What? Are you doing this? Oh my god! There's like a wind. Oh my god, what is that? What is that? The room is so frigging cold as well. Come here, guys. Come here, guys. What? Look, it's swinging. I have not been near it. There's nobody else here. I'll show you as best I can. What? None of this makes any sense. How can this stuff be happening? What? What fell? What is that? What?
During a daytime walkthrough, the two orange cats are heard and seen in obvious distress, meowing loudly and insistently, leading their owner through the hallway as though trying to get him to follow. He remarks that the living room is cold. Then a loud bang sends the camera whipping toward the fireplace, where a picture frame has just fallen from the mantle with no visible cause. The curtains by a closed window begin to billow and move violently, as though caught in a strong, localized wind with no source. A door somewhere off camera slams shut. The chandelier in the center of the room is swinging back and forth with enough force that he reaches up to steady it with his hand, stating clearly that nobody else is home. A small potted plant then falls from a high surface, landing hard on the floor. You can hear it in his voice, the way it shifts from cautious curiosity to something closer to real fear. He keeps asking the room what's happening, and the room keeps answering him. What none of these clips manage to explain is why the activity seems to escalate each time someone picks up a camera. The same house, the same rooms, the same objects, and each walkthrough uncovering something worse than the last. If this is a poltergeist in the traditional sense, some accounts suggest that kind of presence doesn't fade on its own. It tends to grow. So the question worth sitting with is this: what does it look like when it stops holding back? And would you still be in that house to find out? Like and subscribe if you're enjoying watching this video. Some viewers have pointed out that the cats seem to sense things before the camera ever catches them, reacting to rooms, leading their owner toward whatever is about to happen next. If they're right, those cats know something about that house that nobody else in it is willing to say out loud.